Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Mrs. T. Today I want to talk about life not being fair. It's going to be a short one. Well, I know some of you are saying, where is she coming from with this one? Or where is she going with this one? Well, this is a topic that can run into many directions, but it does not matter how you look at it. It all boils down to a few simple things. Well, let's look at it from three angles. Food costs and value. Healthy foods and not so healthy foods. Why are healthy foods so expensive? Simple. We need these foods to heal and cleanse our bodies. For those of you who don't know, vegetables heal and fruits cleanse. Healthy bodies have what it takes to fight infection. Unhealthy bodies do not. As a matter of fact, unhealthy bodies attract diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. Further, unhealthy foods are cost effective and the portions are more generous than healthy food. Guess what? They are far more tasty than healthy foods as well. Something to think about. Healthcare. What can I say? Have you noticed nowadays that healthcare has become somewhat of a money-making scheme? Just think about it. Free healthcare providers, such as the government, are administered mostly by people who care very little about preserving life or even the quality of life. I spoke to a senior gentleman a couple of days ago, and he said to me he hopes he never dies. Why? Because the healthcare providers at the public hospital look as though they are happy to see life end because it's simply business as usual for them. For example, they are already planning to use the bed you're in before you die. Isn't that sad? Well, I also know of a similar incident where my mother-in-law was given only a few days to live. I recall the nurses pressuring the family to take her home to die because they could no longer care for her. If the family didn't take care of her, well, actually, if the family didn't move her, they would send her to some home to die. Yeah, they said that. Imagine that. If there was money involved, I bet you anything, they would have done everything they could have to make her comfortable until her last breath. What a shame. Public hospitals make you wait unnecessarily long periods of time before you can see a physician. Private hospitals, however, will have you attended to within 1 hour. This, of course, is due to you spending your money. For those of you who may say, that's what happens when you go to the public facility, or a public facility for that matter. I'm sorry, but you're mistaken, people. If you pay taxes, you are one of those persons funding the public hospital. You're keeping it running because you pay your taxes. Any place you spend your hard-earned money, you should demand reasonable services. As a matter of fact, it is in my opinion that public hospitals should be offering free premier care. You see how these connect? Do you see? You can't afford healthy food, you get sick. You can't afford premium health care, then you have the public hospital, or no hospital at all if you can't get to it. Education. Again, education is something the government provides at no cost to its citizens. However, you find that with free education, grade numbers are higher, dedicated and qualified teachers are far and few, structures are not up to par, and supplies are very, very low. However, in private schools, grade numbers are usually low. most teachers have an assistant. They are not always overwhelmed, and structures are modern and safe. Supplies are also readily available. These three simple areas can affect a person's life immensely. They also have a domino effect as it relates to food costs and value. If you are not in a position to provide healthy food to your family, you will be at risk for many health problems. If you are not able to pay for premium health care, then your health problems will be exacerbated because you will have to tangle with the public system. We all know what that could mean. Lastly, if you are not in a position to pay for private education for your children or yourself, you might find yourself left out of the runnings. Children in public schools have to work 10 times harder to be noticed in order for them to get a fair chance. There's nothing wrong with growing your own food, but agriculture is not one of those industries that the government runs to adequately fund, or does it make it attractive for citizens to want to buy into it. Smaller countries like mine find themselves importing almost everything they consume. That's bad because it only leads to higher prices year after year. If there's a drought, who gets served last? Healthcare is so cotton-picking expensive, major sacrifices are required for one to obtain good healthcare. Education, especially where I live, is treated like a bad sore. You have it, they don't want to pay for it. You don't have it, they say, well, you need to have qualification in order to get this job or this salary. An excuse they give not to pay you what you're worth. The bottom line is, the playing field will never be fair because the majority of us start at the bottom. And it will take many, 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 many years to change that. By that time, the haves will think of ways to keep the have-nots barely above water. Well, that brings me to the end of this message. I hope it helps someone in some small way. Thank you for listening, and remember, all people have value.
To believe it.